Open a Netbank My Goals and Just Save account. Register on netbankcup.co.za to stand a chance of winning money, 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 money. TV, it's the Netbank Cup. Orlando Pirates 1, Marumo Gallins 0. I'm joined by Mr. Tatana.
Perile mjani.
Perile nkulu.
Randile Kensa nhlawalo wanganyika wona as my FANS Wethu, and also I'd like to first and foremost humbly apologize because I was in an apoplectic, mood, right, because of what happened on Wednesday. Yeah, my words are uncalled for. I think next time I'll try to do better.
Yeah.
But of course, looking toward today's games as well, we're playing against Marumo Gallins. Marumo Gallins, that when you look at the first half, they're trying to play low block, so they were having like 7 defenders, right? So because they had Ricotta was not there anymore as their centre back, so they had Sibia, they had Matiane, they had Ngubo on the left, and they had, of course, the regular Rasibocha, right? Not Rasibocha. What's his name? Mabocha. Yeah. Then in the middle of the park they had Nhlapo, and mind you, Nhlapo is a right back. If you remember Nhlapo, Jomo Cosmos, Super Sport as well, he's a right back, but he was deployed in the middle, and of course he was with Manaka. Manaka is a CDM, so it just tells you that they already had 7 defenders. So every time when Pirates attacked, Nhlapo will tuck in between Matiane and Sibia, and Manaka will be in front of them as well. And there's a boy from Maud, which is Masindi, right? The number 15 is he's quite good, but I think, of course, certain elements he can be able to improve. Then, of course, they had Msendane. Msendane is the same player that gave us problem, if you recall, when we lost 2-0, right? The same player that was playing for Zhuaning, right? When we lost season before, he's the same player that he gave us, tumultuous time as well. And then, of course, at the forefront, they had Kumalo, and I think there's one player that I'm not mentioning as well, which featured as well. So if you look at the first half in terms of Marumo Gallins, they were quite cautious in terms of, the game. And at times, I don't know Marumo Gallins as a team that plays with set pieces, because it's a team, like the way they played, it's like a team that is looking for a set piece and all of that. However, they missed a player called Zindonga, right? He's a Zimbabwean international as well. He occupies the right flank, if not the left flank as well, because it's him and Msendana. But then those were 2 players that they would play out with as well. And what you'd see is that Sitole, who was on the bench, he was the missing link, because you were looking at they would kind of absorb the pressure and be able to catch us on transition, but you never saw that coming. First half, nothing really happened first half, right? Then, of course, when you look at our team, I like how Orlando Pirates coach, and the technical team approached this game, because then we went with, I'd like to think it was a 4-4-3. Again, it was refreshing to see Mbogazi deployed as a left centre back, just right on CBC, unlike having to be pushed a little bit further as a left centre back on the 3-5-2 formation that we've been playing. But of course, he was just deploying in the middle as well. Then we had Paseka Makop, refreshing to see him as well, and hopefully he'll be injury free and he'll feature more coming forward. Dino van Rooyen, this is the one that we know as well, but I'm still crying, or maybe I'm being too hard on him, or maybe I'm quite oblivious with what I'm not seeing in terms of him when he attacks, right? There's certain thing that is missing, but in terms of his primary duties as a defender, excellent. There's nothing wrong with him. Then, of course, Makhetlen Makaula, I think, of course, it was more of a diamond shape. Makhetlen Makaula, he was the CDM. Then you had Kabelo Dlamini with Tito, right, just in front of him. And we saw Nkota, we saw also Dion Hoto being given, of course, an attacking role. And wanna say, guys, I'm a hopa, Yeah, Mahopa, bruh, he has improved tremendously. If you look at his runs, if you look at his touches, if you look at his composure, if you look at his vision when he has the ball, he is if you don't understand football, or maybe if you want to be hard on him, I think it will take you time to be able to understand football, because then he's a different striker compared to Mabasa, but definitely he still needs to be able to improve in terms of shooting and being able to be lethal as a striker, right? But all the aspects that I've mentioned, well done to him, and he can be able to grow from there as well. We had in quarters. So if you look at the goal that we played, a lot of people while I was sitting in the grass stands, they were like, "This is a PlayStation football," you know, because that was a well-curated football. And these are moments that I like about Kabelo Dlamini, because like he brings that element of like the drills that they do, you know, in the training sessions, and he brings them in the game as well. When you look at the link-up play, the weighing of the pass as well, you know, and thanks to him as well, he was very composed. He finished the ball. But other than that, when we look at the second half, I think that's when Marumo Gallins realized that the way they were playing, it doesn't work for them. Players like that I'm mentioning right now, Kabadinho Mango was introduced, right? Then we saw Stole coming in, number 26, he was coming in as well. So now making leaving Manaka as the only CDM, and they started to give us problems as well. And when we started to also like on the first half, I think Pirates kind of like, you know, they knew that we had it on the pocket, because sorry to kind of like, you know, divert a little bit, but when you look at our last 5 games that we played, we had 4 clean sheets, and most of those games we scored 1, averaging 1. So it also gives you that kind of like mentality to tell you that, you know, what's happening is that the team, or rather our team right now, every game that they approach it as a final game as well, you know. Then I saw also Buthelezi, you know, what happened with Buthelezi as well is that I just moved it. So, but also what I saw with Buthelezi is that he's not comfortable in terms of playing the ball, you know, like in his feet, he had to kick the ball away most of the time. But other than that, I'd say Marumo Gallins left it till too late. I think even Dino, when he came in, Dino Ndlovu, he's back. I didn't see Dion also doing much, you know, other than just having to play sideways, and you know, there was nothing to say for what's his name, Buthelezi.
Yes.
But I think really, you know, he did a difference when the game, of course, progressed. He gave Dion Otto a couple of passes as well, and I think again what had happened is that these young men but Mabasa didn't convert, because I think when Relay came, he gave Dion Otto, he gave Dion Otto a couple of balls. Dion Otto created the chances, but we never saw anything materializing as well. But we take a win, and as Orlando Pirates, we're quite happy. We're looking forward to the next game as well, and also giving you my man of the match. You know, definitely I'll give it to Upodlela. You know, everybody did very well, I don't want to lie, but I think Upodlela being there, man, he just reminds me of Usangwin. You know, the stewardship, the leadership as well, his presence let alone just tells you that, you know what, when I'm around, you know, things will be proper, and you can see it's also kind of like rubbing off to Umbogazi, you know. Next one, we're going to FNB, which is the 18th, the semi-final as well. What my fellow a guy said here as well is that I urge people to come early to the games. You know, like when you come early to the games, you get comfort, you get to select the seats that you want as well, you get the parking space that you want, and you relaxed. So don't come into the games rushing, because you see other people when they come after the game, they're trying to bully other people. Yay, why are you here and all of that. But other than that, we thank Orlando Pirates, the leadership, the technical team, which they don't get, of course, they applaud, because they're doing the work behind, you know, all the results that we see as well. And furthermore, it goes to you guys as FANS Wethu giving us the platform to be able to express our views.
Thank you very much. I will say it.